17 not admitted without parents or guardian.
Nightmare in Wax makes Madame Tussauds horror chamber look like a picnic in the country. One by one, Paragon Film Studios stars disappear and reappear in Vince's Waxworks Museum. Are they wax or are they real? Only Vince knows, and only Vince holds the key to this theater of terror.
Look, honey, don't try anything funny with that knife. I don't want to hurt you.
Every nightmare you ever had comes to the boil in Nightmare in Wax.
Every nightmare you ever had.
All at once.
Especially the one like where you're trying to scream and you can't, or you're at work and you realize you forgot to put your clothes on. Anyway, good evening, fans of fantastic films. Welcome once again to the Drive-In Asylum double feature with me and Sam Panico and our special guest, Dustin Fallon. Welcome, Dustin.
Hey, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well. Thank you guys for having me.
It's about time you were back on the show again.
Yeah, it's been a little while. There was a little time frame there where I was totally not available, but, you know, I'm back to good now, I guess. So, hey, hi. Miss doing this. Sorry if I sound a little snotty. I have a little bit of congestion going on, but trying to work with it.
Oh, we welcome that here.
Good, because there's plenty
Speaking
of it.
How are you feeling, Sam?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Good.
Yeah, back to trying to work out and stay up late and everything. Didn't learn any lessons. So, yeah, that's the way it should be.
I'm glad you didn't learn any lessons.
No, I know. I think that's my 2023-24 goal. Don't learn any more lessons.
Don't learn a thing.
No regrets. I've learned everything there is to learn from this point on. Just doing it.
Oh, we got cameo appearance going on back there.
Yeah.
Oh, who's that?
I think that was Elvis getting excited about eating. He wants food.
Wow.
So Becca went out to the kitchen, and the minute someone comes in the kitchen, it means time to eat, no matter what.
We have 3 cats. We know that feeling very well.
Yeah. His scream is frightening, though. So, yeah. Like, okay, dude.
At least one of ours like escalates the anger level if you don't immediately stop and get us some treats or something. It's just, it starts out first meow meow, and then after you ignore him for a minute, it's like meow meow. It's like, calm down, dude. You'll get something. You always do.
Yep. Well, good evening, everybody in
grease.
chat. Everybody saying hi. Thank you. I am super excited about both these movies tonight. I thought they were in black and white, as Bill will tell you. I don't know why. I think it's every photo I saw when I was grabbing photos for stuff.
The B&W in the post, I didn't even catch that.
Yeah, that's where it was from. Bill's like, what is that from, Bill and William? I'm like, I don't know.
I
And then I realized today when
wax.
I was finishing my walk, I'm like, oh, that's where it is.
I assumed it was blood and wax, honestly. I didn't even put that together.
That's even better. Okay, it can be whatever. It's like Kiss. What does it mean? Nobody knows.
Sometimes kids in Satan's service.
Yeah. My favorite is AC/DC means Antichrist Devil Child. It's my favorite one. I had a teacher told me I couldn't listen to them.
That's what I was repeatedly told for maybe like the first 10, 12 years of my life.
Yeah.
And I think I actually believed it for a little while.
And then I was like, if you ever listen to any AC/DC, they don't care about the devil at all. They only care about women. That's all they care about.
Highway to Hell.
Well, yeah, but the Highway to Hell is paved with women.
Yes.
I guess Jailbreak is the only other one, not Thin Lizzy Jailbreak. This is a third segment discussion.
I remember reading that AC/DC were pretty annoyed when they realized what their name meant in the United States. That wasn't the image they were trying to put forward.
We're not electricians.
Yeah.
Right.
The same joke. Yeah, what's that? What are you talking about, Bill? Anyway. Yeah, I bet it would be pretty annoying if you didn't know, but they're Australian. They probably thought it was funny.
Yeah.
Don't ever forget that Kiss spelled backwards is sick.
Oh, that's another good one. Oh,
Oh
man.
gosh, yeah.
Bill, I had a dream the other night that you and I were going to Three Rivers to see Stryper in concert, and you were super excited about it, and you saw the van, when they didn't have the tank and they just had that Stryper van, and you were like, "Do you see the van?" And I was like, "This has to be a dream. There's no way that
Wow.
this is really happening." So anyway, yeah,
Was there a
Well,
big
yeah,
striper on the
Stryper
side
would.
of it?
yeah,
Wow.
Stryper wishes they would have played Three Rivers Stadium. They never would have been able to fill that venue.
They could fill like one of the bathrooms. Maybe.
They got pretty big though.
They
I
did.
saw them 3 times,
Yeah.
actually. And
I
the
think
first
they would-
time I
I was gonna
saw them, there was
ask-
nobody there. And then the third time I saw them, it was like they were a thing all of a
Yeah.
sudden. I was like, wow.
Well, "Calling on You" was on MTV a lot. That song was pretty big. I was gonna say what stadium could they fill in Pittsburgh, and then I realized that a good chunk of our audience isn't from here, so they wouldn't know the difference of like, oh yeah, they could fill stage A, and they'd be like, Sam, I don't know what that means. So yeah, they could. I see what Paul said. They filled, yeah, Syria Mosque they could fill.
That's where I saw them.
Yeah,
Every time I saw them, it was at the mosque.
I saw Living Color there. That was the best
Ooh.
show I saw at the mosque with Urban Dance Squad. What a weird.
We have a pretty big church right up the road from us that has like a rather large performing center attached to it, so I'm sure they could fill that. It's always odd too because whenever they have any kind of performance, you see like the police standing out at the entrance to the parking lot, just waving people in. And like, how many people are going to these church concerts? I guess quite a few.
Yeah. There is a whole. I watched a documentary about faith artists that they really draw big crowds. I didn't know. You know, it's a total like audience. Like, you know, they have like a built-in audience of mega churches and places that play stuff versus, you know, I only know the secular world of sin. That's all I know.
Which brings us to tonight's movies.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know your DC Talks and your Petras.
Oh God, I know DC Talk.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe I should have said "Oh God" before that.
Yeah.
Have you seen DC Talk live?
No. I just remember back in high school, a girl I dated was very, very, very much into them.
Oh wow!
Until shortly after we started dating, and then she pretty much went to hell after that. I couldn't tell you why.
Literally.
Yeah.
She's still there.
Yeah,
that was my first concert, Petra.
I know. I'm amazed by that you were into, but I mean, it makes sense. You were younger.
I wasn't into it. I had to go because there were all these other bands that I really wanted to see. Like, no, that's the devil's music. So they sold it. It really was a built-in audience because, you know, kids were desperate to attach themselves. You know how you are when you're a kid, at least in that era, like the late 70s and the 80s. Like, you had your favorite bands and like you wore the t-shirts and everything, and it was marketing, you know, and they had to market these bands to Christian kids so that their parents weren't pissed off that they were listening to this stuff.
I remember Jimmy Swaggart had a whole show about how they were still evil because they were rock bands.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay.
There were so many people that said that, even at the Stryper concert. I mean, they were like throwing Bibles into the audience, and Christians had a problem with that. I was like, are you kidding me?
I remember Michael Sweet played the Borders once on McKnight Road. It was like this Friday, Michael Sweet acoustic in our cafe, and I'm like, that cafe holds 30 people. But you know,
I bet his voice is gone. He had a great scream.
Yeah. They had good stage costumes. I mean, I will give them that. I mean, they had the right look. They had like the tank and stuff. You know, it's my first concert was Billy Joel. It's at the same level as Stryper. You know what I mean?
Mine was New Edition with Billy Ocean and I think Shalimar.
Oh wow! Okay, that's
I
good.
just saw Shalimar. I am so
and at Disney World of all places.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
Just a dead giveaway.
I saw James Brown play after a Pirates game. It was like the Pirates wing night. And I just remember that there were like wing bones all over the field. And James Brown came out and did like 8 songs. And I was like, James Brown's like one of the most important like musicians of all time. Like, he shouldn't have to play while people are eating wings and throwing them on the floor. Like, it just felt real weird. But
Oh, that's awesome.
my second concert was Huey Lewis and the News. It was the 80s.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. And then Monsters of Rock after that. So at that point, my soul was,
my real first concert, the one that I got to pick, was Dead or Alive.
Oh, wow.
And I was not going to let Dead or Alive pass through Pittsburgh without going to see them. It was 1987, and that was also in the mosque in the ballroom, and it was a nightmare.
Oh.
It was an absolute nightmare. There were like hundreds of people crammed in there. They kept us waiting 2 hours before they went on stage, and there was no opening act. It was hot. It felt like there was no air conditioning in there, and like this person kept screaming at us to back up from the stage because it was just like there were no chairs.
Oh.
It was just a general admission concert, and then they came out and they were on this teeny tiny little stage, and they did maybe like a 30-minute set and left and never came back.
Oh man!
And it was all on tape, like it was lip synced, the whole thing. I think there were some live instruments and maybe like I know he addressed the crowd a couple of times, but the vocals were almost entirely on tape.
I'm impressed that I'm looking at some of the first concerts of folks. I'm impressed that Beth went to the Jackson's Victory concert.
That's what I saw as well.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't feel as bad now.
You remember the video that they had where they were all like giants, like Galactus or something, and they were like all coming down to attack Earth? Yeah.
I know we didn't go to that one, but I remember my older brother won a Jackson's Victory Tour jacket from like a high school football game and wore that thing everywhere for like a year.
I always wondered, Hills used to sell the Michael Jackson Thriller kind of jacket, Bill. They had like a whole Michael Jackson section in Hills. And there was like an alt color Michael Jackson jacket that was reversed, like where the red and black were flipped. And I'm like, that some kid's grandma bought him the flipped one. And they're like, I got you the Michael Jackson jacket. And they're like, yeah. My brother had a glove that we bought at the flea market because we didn't have a lot of money. So there was someone at the flea market just selling like Wilson, like a work glove, like a white work glove that they dipped in glitter. And I said to him, please don't wear that to church because I'm going to get my ass kicked Monday in school. Sure enough, I was in gym class. Someone said, hey, Sam, I saw your brother wearing that Michael Jackson glove. And I got punched right in the stomach. Like, man, please don't wear that anymore. He took communion with that glove, Bill, too. And there was like one light in our church that went down onto the altar. So when he went to get it, that glove had all that glitter on it, and he looked like Michael. You know what I mean? It was beautiful, like the hand of God getting communion.
It was a spiritual moment.
It was. I'm jealous of a couple of these first concerts, especially David went to the Breeders for his first concert.
I saw the Jethro Tull one in here, and I was like, man, I would trade for that in R&B.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Look at this one, Prince.
Oh,
holy shit!
All right, yeah, no, that's my winner there.
I did see Prince in 1988, and Sheila E. was the drummer, but she didn't do a Sheila E. set really. They did a couple of her songs in the main set, but that was an amazing concert. Probably one of the best I've ever seen.
Yeah, Noah and I were going to go see Prince when we were in Dallas for the Super Bowl, and we looked to see how much tickets were, and they were $4,500. I'm like, guess we're not going to see Prince. Yeah, it was like a invite only Prince show, and it was like, it doesn't seem right.
Honestly, most of the concerts I went to, I don't think I ever paid for any tickets. Someone else just had them. It's like, hey, you want to go? Okay, sure. I got nothing else happening.
That's how I got to go to Billy Joel. Was like a school trip. They had a school van. Like, do you want to go see Billy Joel? And I was like, I do like Allentown a lot. That was like the last era for me. This is a third segment conversation about the two eras of Billy Joel. The pre Uptown Girl Billy Joel, post Uptown Girl Billy Joel. I have theories. Stick around. Maybe we'll save that for like 2 a.m. It feels like a 2 a.m. conversation.
So Nightmares in Wax. We should probably talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, let's talk about it. I'm excited. You know how I feel about Cameron Mitchell. So
the main reason I wanted to watch it
Yeah.
is just because I'm a huge fan of the band, and I really like this movie a lot. And I'll be honest, I was really kind of surprised in the comments to the post throughout the week of how many people seem to have fond memories of it or enjoy it. So, hey, it's cool, that people remember like this movie. I won't lie. I don't know if Nora's seen it, but I kind of hope that she hates it just so I can have that achievement to feel like I've succeeded for once.
I think Nora exaggerates maybe a little bit sometimes, but
I love her honesty, though. She'll just flat out tell you.
Cameron Mitchell has such a huge career. I mean, he's in The Robe. He's the voice of Jesus. Like, really, there's not a bigger role than that. Like, and that was in 51. He worked for like another, 35, 40 years after that. The roles may have gone down a little bit after Jesus. Like, but he's in so much stuff. He's in Death of a Salesman. Like, and then, of course, Night Train to Terror. Actually, he's in the Nightmare Never Ends segment. He's in The Demon, which I know Mike Justice loves, and he's in Blood and Black Lace, which I think everybody loves. But he's in so much great stuff, and
Toolbox
he's great.
Murders. What is Man-Eater, Hydra?
That's my fave.
Oh, I love that one.
Watching the Toolbox Murders at the drive-in last year is one of my greatest drive-in memories because everybody was so into it. Like, it was like the perfect weather and vibe, and just everybody was just loving it, watching it together. It was like one of the most fun times I've ever had watching a movie.
It's a total feel-good movie.
Yeah. Bill, Mark asked, Bud Townsend being the director, do we know anything else about him other than Terror House? Oh, but this feels like a toss to Bill question.
If you've ever seen the movie Coach with Kathy Lee Crosby and Michael Biehn, that was a Bud Townsend joint.
Yeah.
Some of the other stuff. He did the porn version of Alice in Wonderland with Christine DeBelle.
He worked with the president. He did Death Valley Days with Ronald Reagan.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's got to be a story in itself right there.
Yeah. That's what.
And of course,
a question about this movie for you guys: is this a zombie movie? Nightmare and Wax.
I never thought of it as one. I just kind of seen it as like a very poor man's remake of House of Wax.
It's a stretch, to call it.
It is that serum that kind of can control people, though. So that's kind of where I'm kind of fitting into it.
Good.
It is though. I mean, if you would, we have House of Wax at home. That's what this movie is. Like, this is the other version of House of Wax, I guess.
Well, Mike Justice brought up The Beach Girls, which is another movie Bud Townsend did. That was really strange because I think he originally put that out under his wife's name, Patricia, or his daughter was Patty Townsend. I'm not sure which Townsend we were supposed to believe made that, but it was Bud Townsend.
Oh, The Beach Girls.
Well, between his career and Cameron Mitchell's, I mean, you could kind of call this a workman type film. It's, guys who just did what they had to do to basically keep working and get paid. Even, Mitchell didn't particularly like these type of movies from everything I've read, but, he did them because in his case, he really needed to get paid because, he lost pretty much everything there between bad investments, bad marriages, bad career choices.
You know, the other Bud Townsend movie I always think of too, Bill, is Love Scenes is the other one. That has
I don't know that one.
Tiffany Bowling's in it, Monique Gabrielle.
Ooh.
Is that the one with Britt Eklund?
Yeah, Britt Eklund, Julie Newmar.
I don't think
Jack
I've seen
Carter.
it, but from what I've read about it in the cast, it sounds something like I have to watch.
Yeah, it's got a really great cast.
Yeah.
It's from 1984.
Oh gosh, I didn't think it was that new.
Yeah, that's the last movie he did after the Pat Townsend was the name listed for the Beach Girls, Bill.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the Beachcomber, he did 14 episodes of that show.
Don't recall that one.
Yeah, one episode of Adventures in Paradise. And then he's actually, I forgot that he's in the movie Always. He acts in that movie briefly. And I remember seeing it in like the Henry Jaglom movie. He's in it. And Jaglom was dating his daughter when that movie was made. So like a lot of the family's in it.
And I see Davis' question here. I'm assuming that's about Cameron Mitchell being a theater guy. Yeah. From everything I read, he started out on Broadway. I believe he left for Libet to go to do service for, I don't remember which branch of the military. Then I think returned to Broadway before doing movies. I could be wrong on that. I tried to Well, even before this show, I've tried to do a little research on him just because, like I said, I find him a fascinating actor, even though he does seem like a pretty crappy kind of person in real life, which kind of makes me like him a little bit more.
Well, back then, people didn't get canceled for who they were in movies.
No.
It was just like, yeah, he's kind of, you can go to Italy and be in exploitation movies.
Which apparently he didn't like those either.
Yeah.
What did he want to do? Was he like Shakespeare? Is that what he wanted to work in?
I guess it was just maybe like, theater and Broadway, because I guess his big break there was, Death of a Salesman?
Yeah, in 51.
Yeah.
And Bill, he's from Dallastown, PA, outside of York.
Yeah, thank you. I was going to say it was PA, but I couldn't remember where. Is that close at all?
Yeah, that's where he's from, Dallastown, PA. He was born in 1918.
Don't expect too much from the ad gallery tonight because both tonight's movies were a double feature, so we're going to see both of them at once, I guess.
I think that was the whole idea behind this too, because they played together, so it's kind of fun.
Did they never play with anything else? I mean, I've not seen anything.
They would get broken up. Yeah, I mean, not officially.
Right.
They got broken up at some point, and you would see one of them or the other one. They were often the third film. And when somebody wanted a late movie, they would drag one of these out because they probably didn't have to pay for it. I'm not sure how that worked.
Oh, man.
But
I forget Without Warning. I was ashamed of myself.
There were, for Cameron Mitchell.
Yeah. I was just looking through some of his late movies, and there's a lot that I really like in there, Dustin. I like Jacko.
Yes.
Yeah. Let's see how many of these you guys have seen, Dustin and Bill. Demon Cop.
I've not seen it. I want to.
I've seen it. Memorial Valley Massacre. We showed on the show.
Terror. Yeah, I think I watched that recently.
Terror in Beverly Hills. Action USA. Space Mutiny. That's another classic. Yeah. Terror Night. Mutant War.
Was that Reb Brown?
Yeah, Reb Brown. Deadly Prey. He's in a lot of those David Pryor kind of movies. From a Whisper to a Scream.
Oh gosh, I don't remember that.
Mission Kill.
Mission Kill, is that Leslie Nielsen?
It's from '86. I'm going to say no.
They probably are.
But good one there. Terror on Tape, The Gambler, The Adventure Continues, Blood Link, which we talked about last week too. Raw Force. I think he's drunk as fucking Raw Force the whole time, by the way, which I think makes. But Frankenstein Island.
Oh god,
yeah, that's the one I was trying to think of. Frankenstein Island.
Without Warning, which is one of my favorite casts ever.
Oh, very much so.
Silent Scream.
Yep.
Supersonic Man. They get some rough ones here. The Demon, Island of the Fishman. How did I not say that one, Bill? The Swarm.
Screamers.
Yeah. I don't think he was in Isle of the Fishman.
No, he's just in that add-on scene.
It's listed in his Wikipedia one. Viva Knievel. He plays the guy who's trying to kill Evel Knievel and stuff him full of cocaine. Swiss Family Robinson. What? The Klansman. Yeah, there's a ton of stuff. Anyway, I like 99% of his movies.
That's one of the things I like about it is he's in a little bit of everything across the board in these genre films.
Yeah.
There wasn't anything he wouldn't do.
No, not really. But I mean, that's kind of why I think I push that he should be better, remembered, a little bit higher regard because he's in something you've seen.
Yeah, Mark brought up Texas Lightning, which is another great one. I think he's drunk through that entire movie too. I'm not saying that in a negative way. I'm saying if you can do it, do it.
Go for it.
I was drunk at most ad agencies I've worked at in my life, so and I wasn't Cameron Mitchell. I was just a copywriter, so
I just want to warn everyone: these pictures tonight are rated M.
So what's M for?
I don't know, but you maybe want to use some judgment, and they might be too much for your sensibilities. This is a Pittsburgh ad. You can't see all the ads really that well, or the movies theaters listed it too well at the bottom there. But the arcade on the south side is one mentioned. The Ardmore Drive-In.
Oh yeah, that's out in Monroeville.
It says Forest Hills.
Yeah, it's between Monroeville and McKeesport. So yeah, Forest Hills area.
Camp Horn Drive-In.
I love that
Dependable.
both these ads are both of them are balanced in the same way. Like the villain is on the left side, the victim is kind of on the right. So the illustration, it's probably the same illustrator. Yeah, and I saw that Ed said this would make a great T-shirt. Yeah, this is very much I drink your blood, I eat your flesh kind of mix up here of these two movies.
So, speaking of fantastic films, Sam, in a couple of weeks, we're going to get to go to an amazing drive-in event called the Drive-In Super Monsterama.
Yeah.
And we're going to debut the trailer for the drive-in on the program. And it's going to be right now. And afterwards, Gene from the Drive-In Super Monsterama is going to come out and talk about it. Awesome. So get ready.
It's time for the 17th annual Drive-In Super Monsterama. 2 nights of terror. A weekend of classic drive-in movies at the Riverside Drive-In. Friday night kicks off with a double shot of bloody good fun from the grandfather of gore, H.G. Lewis, and his classic shock films, Blood Feast and 2000 Maniacs. In blood-dripping color on the big screen. We are happy to be screening the newly restored drive-in favorite, Impulse, with the one and only William Shatner. The Riverside is the only drive-in showing this movie as part of a limited release. Wrapping up Friday is one of our favorites, Shriek of the Mutilated. It's worth the wait, but don't leave the car if you hear the beating heart of the Yeti. What's a better way to spend Saturday at the drive-in besides a night of nature gone mad? Think twice about attending that salmon festival when the Corman classic Humanoids from the Deep are the party crashers. Don't go camping. Grizzly is on the loose. 18 feet of gut-crunching, man-eating terror. The most dangerous Jaws on land. Stay out of the water. It's Piranha up next, featuring the Scream Queen herself, Barbara Steele. Our weekend wraps up with our final furry feature, Day of the Animals. There's nowhere to hide. Will Leslie Nielsen survive? Admission is $15 per person per night. Children under 12 are free. Camping is $15 per person per night. Survivors get a complimentary breakfast in the morning. September 22nd and 23rd, Drive-In Super Monsterama at the Riverside Drive-In in Vandergrift, PA. See you there, if you dare.
We certainly do dare. Welcome to the program, Gene.
Thank you. That was the voice and the talent of Lance Parkin, Pittsburgh director. He does a lot of our work for the drive-in, and that was his work. So thank you, Lance.
Neon Brainiacs, Lance.
Yeah, he's out there somewhere tonight. So real quick question before we talk about the drive-in. So Ardmore Drive-In, Sam, is that the one where off of in Forest Hills up on the hill where there's a Giant Eagle Plaza now? Wasn't it up there? If I'm not mistaken?
I think that's where it is. I know that the one that had the swimming pool was in that area too, and
there may have been 2 of them. There may have been one on Yost down where the Aldi is, and then one up on the hill.
Yeah,
where the Giant Eagle is. I think that was it.
And then there's Pittsburgh 5 on 30 was the other one.
Right. And then the super big one was up where Walmart was.
Yeah, that's Pittsburgh 5, right.
Yeah. All right, guys. So yeah, this is a great collection of films. We're excited about them. We brought back 2 movies that were canceled in 2020, which was Piranha and Humanoids from the Deep. And we wanted to, let's talk about Friday first. So we've been talking about H.G. Lewis for a decade. And hi, Dustin, by the way.
No, don't mind me. You keep going.
Speak with you in person.
You too, thank you.
Yeah, very good. And so anyway, the thing is that we wanted to do a whole night of HG, and then we thought we're not going to do a whole night of HG. We're going to do 2 HGs. And then here's a shameless plug. This happened. I don't know if you guys have gotten this yet or not. The remastered Impulse, which Bill worked on material. Right, and we're screening this of course, at our event on Friday night. So Thank you, Grindhouse Releasing, for
That's very
participating with us. They're giving us a lot of advertisements and stuff, so we're very excited about this. I don't know how William Shatner feels about it. And afterwards here's our next shameless plug, Shriek of the Mutilated, which is one of my favorite films of all time. We finally got a great copy from Vinegar Syndrome, and that's airing the last film on Friday night. I first saw that on Chiller Theater in Pittsburgh when I was a kid, and it was terrifying to me. Now it's funny, but back then I thought it was pretty scary.
I never saw that back in the day. I didn't see it until like maybe 4 or 5 years
You didn't
ago.
want to watch it. I kept telling you to watch it, and you were like, "It's a terrible movie," and I'm like, "No, it's really." I'm totally obsessed with the film. I'm wearing the shirt tonight. I've gone on vacation to the filming location in Croton-on-Hudson, above Tarrytown, above Manhattan. It was filmed in that area. I've gone to all the locations. I have a very strange obsession with this movie, let's put it that way. So Saturday night is all nature gone wild. Now Humanoids quite wasn't maybe just nature, but stretch your imaginations, it's amplified nature. And we love that movie. We love James Horner's soundtrack. It's the perfect thing to see on a screen on a Saturday in late September. It'll be beautiful to see that on the big screen. Followed by, what's our second film? Grizzly, which we're dying to show Grizzly. And it was supposed to be back-to-back originally with Day of the Animals, but, that didn't quite happen the way that we had planned. So at any rate, then the next one is Piranha, and we love Barbara Steele. In fact, we inserted her into the trailer because we love her so much. Not that I think she gives a shit about that film, because the few times I've met her, she was never signing or speaking about it. And of course, the night finishes up with Leslie Nielsen's Day of the Animals, which George and I were talking about this afternoon. And I guess they mentioned it. Leslie was on game shows back in the day, or on a TV show or something, and they asked him, "What are you working on now?" And he said a thriller called Day of the Animals. I don't know if you guys have seen that clip, or
wasn't he like Match Game a couple times?
I think it might have been Match Game, and Gene Rayburn asked him. We were talking about that today. It's sort of a strange, obscure reference, but it's so funny when you go back and you watch those shows like Tattletales and any of them from the 1970s. There's a lot of information there. I mean, a lot of actors and actresses are talking about movies that we now look back on fondly.
I saw Patty Duke on Match Game plugging the Swarm.
Right. It's a weird reality. Right. What a weird reality. You know what I mean? So,
speaking of Match Game today, I was watching it on the Game Show Network, and there was a guy on, and Brett Summers, I swear to God, she's like, "Who does that contestant sound just like?" And everybody was like, "I don't know. Who do you think he sounds like?" And she was like, "Aldo Ray."
Well, they were always drunk, she and Charles Nelson Riley. And, I always thought it was humorous how Gene Rayburn would constantly make fun of the wigs that she was wearing, and she was like, "Yeah, I got a new wig this week, so enjoy it."
Well, today they were making fun of Bob Barker's hair. They were showing all Bob
He's a vampire,
Barker. They were showing all, not anymore. They were showing all Bob Barker episodes today in honor of his recent passing. And
vampires don't die.
Playing with his hair, and it was like, plugs or something, and he was getting really upset about it.
I saw a joke, and it's probably too soon, but it said Bob Barker died at 99. He went as close to $1 without getting
Yes, that was everywhere. I want to say hi to my friend over in Scotland tonight, Pete. Hi, Pete. He's staying up late. They're 5 hours ahead, so it's 1:30 in the morning. Thank you, Pete, for tuning in tonight.
That's troopers there.
Yeah, really. There's quite a few people that watch you guys over there. You'd be surprised. They might watch the rerun, but not the live feed. But anyway,
a Scotsman. I'm from Liverpool. I've got a problem with the Scotsman.
He doesn't go
this
near
is Pete Burns of Dead or Alive.
Liverpool.
My first band was called Nightmares in Wax, and Bill is wearing a T-shirt in honor of us on tonight's program.
Yeah, brief kickback here to what you guys were talking about. Duran Duran was my first band of all time.
Oh, wow.
And I was at that Dead or Alive show that you were at, and it was a fucking nightmare is what it was.
It was a riot.
30 minutes in any show you ever saw in the Stereo Mosque, trying not to remember that you almost suffocated to death. I saw The Cure there. I saw, I think, Billy Idol there. Every band I ever saw in that place, you couldn't breathe. I mean, literally, there was no air conditioning or something, and that was in the ballroom, which was downstairs, right? And it was like being in, if you had gone out to Pegasus back in the day, it was like everybody crammed into this underground, space. God. It felt like nightmare. Pete Burns was performing at a banquet hall at a Ramada Inn
with 2 male strippers on stage.
That was horrible. And then when he was done, he walked off. So did you guys have any questions about the movies or anything that we're doing with the drive-in at all? Anybody?
I have one, actually. And if this is a trade secret, just don't answer. But is there any, is there a certain way that you choose what you want to show when, or does it have something to do with availability?
Yeah, it actually does. There's a lot of movies that we talk about showing, and we choose a lot of the more, like the September show has always been a more traditional horror show, and this is 17 years, guys, which is unfucking believable that this has been 17 years. It's mind-boggling. And we've gone through so many movies. If you go on the page, you can see these films, and people are suggesting what they want to see. And we're getting back to showing some older movies because we're getting great 4K restorations and stuff now. And, a lot of the prints that we have were faded and, not so good. But I mean, it's sort of part of the magic in some ways. But now with these movies being available in a higher resolution, the only thrill that you get with movies on actual film is the fact that they're doing it, because that's all you get. It's not the way it looked when it was screened 50 years ago. Okay. And every time you use one of those prints, it could be the last time you're ever going to use that print. And a lot of people that clamor for the excitement of 35 millimeter, that's my big bitch to them, is like, get over it, because guess what? Once those prints are destroyed, that's the end of it. They're gone. So if you want to preserve these things as history, you can't keep showing them all the time at a drive-in, okay? And now that we have them on digital and they're remastered and it's just a little stick versus this 7,000 pound, you guys have all, I'm sure you as well, Dustin, have seen how these movies come. And it's like it takes a moving truck to bring all of these movies in. Practically, they come over a period of time. But I mean, there's no room for anything when they're all there in their canisters.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that till I did that show with Harry Guerro, and we did 3 movies. There was only 3. Yeah, and there were so many canisters. I was like,
they're so huge. Right, they really are, and it's a labor of love, actually, to have to splice all that stuff together. And I think to sit there patiently and hope that something doesn't go wrong during 8 movies on a weekend. But anyway, getting back to what I was saying, so now the September shows are much more experimental, if that's a good word for it. We're doing a lot of things. We've had success with the Jaleo night, which was crazy. Who would have thought? Spanish horror films. This is sort of where we see ourselves right now with the September show, is doing a true, grindhouse experience. Some of these movies don't relate to one another. They shouldn't relate to one another. They don't have to be a theme. It's whatever we like and pick that runs together and kind of does its thing. April will continue to be a 1980s style show because it's a younger crowd. It's a different crowd. There's a bunch of stuff already planned, some really big name movies planned for April already. So it's going to happen. So it's going to be big. So it'll be not so much slashery, I don't think this time, but it's going to be really good. You guys.
I am going to hold George to this. He almost promised me. He basically promised me The Children from 1980.
Not yet, to my knowledge. But it would be on my list. It would be on my list as well.
George, I'm going to pester you about it until you show The Children.
Yeah. It's been discussed, but it's not something that we're doing yet. There's some big name stuff, some really big name stuff, of course, for April. It's big, and I can't talk about it yet, of course. But yeah, you guys are going to love it. So we're excited, and I can't believe it's happening in like 3 weeks. So.
I saw one question for you in the chat. Tickets go on sale, Monday or Tuesday?
I was going to bring that up to you guys. This weekend actually. I'm not sure if it's tomorrow or if it's Monday for sure. The trailer is now actually up on YouTube for the Riverside. We're going to post it on the drive-in page tonight. We just thought it would be great for you guys, since you're such supporters and you're part of the family, to premiere it here. And the shirts are printed, they've shipped, they're going to be arriving Tuesday because of the holiday on Monday. So the shirts we have sold already will be out. Actually, we're not going to have many for the actual show, probably, because they've been going like crazy, which is good. So it's always nice to see an empty table at the end of the weekend. So thank you, Toasty Buff. You should come to the drive-in. So many people are so far away from Pittsburgh, and we joke about it, but, there are people that fly from other countries and drive in from Canada and come from California. So
it is kind of rare to find a drive-in that's showing anything other than family films, because, of course, that's a great way for a family to go out and have a good time.
Right. Well, I think, and I also think that Disney basically runs the market now. It's there's nothing you can do about it. I mean, you can sort of shit on Barbie all you want, but it was a revelation of a film, because it was a fuck you to Disney, and it was like, you know what? We don't need Disney to make $1 million. We have a toy from the 1950s. Reinvented, and it who would have thought, when we saw the trailers in January, February, we thought, you know what, it's going to be cute. We didn't think it was going to be a blockbuster hit, but look what happened, So, and right now Hollywood sucks. You guys know that, and they're pushing everything back. Dune's late. All these movies are now late because of the strike and stuff. I saw where Disney's now doing a live Nightmare Before Christmas film with Johnny Depp. Like, that was announced this week.
Wait,
live?
really?
Yeah, there was an announcement from Disney that they are going to start pre-production on a live Johnny Depp starring Tim Burton, whatever, menagerie of a live Nightmare Before Christmas. I don't know how valid it is. I only heard about it.
I guess, he just wants to have a bomb after Beetlejuice too, then, huh? Then again, I say this will probably make $1 billion.
Well, it's really weird because it's all the timing on this is so strange. It really is. It's like all these movies are coming out of nowhere as sequels from the past, and no one cared about them for like 30 or 40 years. But there is a new, like that Hocus Pocus sequel. How did that do financially? Was that a success for them, or did it fail? Because Hocus Pocus and Nightmare Before Christmas, George and I were just talking about this today. They're these huge movies that when they were out back in the day, people saw them and thought, they're kind of okay. But they've snowballed with popularity over the last 20, 30 years or whatever. Has it been 30 years or has it been 40 years?
I remember working at my local theater when the first one came out, and there was never a big crowd for that movie.
No. For which one? For Hocus?
Hocus Pocus.
Yeah, I've been, you know what? I haven't been to Salem in the last 2 years, but I go to Salem every year practically, I guess almost for the last 25, 30 years. And I've yet to walk past the mansion,
It only came out on Disney Plus and not in theaters. But
I was going to say, I thought so.
Okay, is that what it was?
Yeah,
I watched it. I watched it, in all honesty, right?
It was their highest rated.
Good for them.
For us, yeah.
Because they need more money, of course. I like the Star Wars films or the series. I'm not going to lie about that.
We have to do the cocktail.
I love it.
We have to do the cocktail because it's getting.
You guys got to do that, and I actually have to go somewhere shortly. So.
Oh, you're not going to be on?
Well, I'm taking off here in a few minutes. I'll wait for the cocktail ends, and then
all right,
I'll head out.
All right, let's do it.
The director is back.
Yeah, it's going to look a lot better than last
I didn't
week.
watch the videos last week.
Don't watch them.
But I'm willing that nothing was put together.
This whole counter was blue.
Was it?
Blue. It was just all blue. And I had the cats clean it.
Look it up.
Look it up! This is Nightmare Bikini Wax for Nightmare in Wax. Pretty simple. It's going to have an ounce of white rum. We're using Don Q Crystal, or is that Cristal? 2 ounces of vodka, 1/4 ounce of lemon juice, 1 teaspoon of sugar, 1/2 ounce of milk. Does milk and vodka go together? Probably.
We'll find out.
Not. All right, so that's super simple. There's the alcohol. Here is our sugar.
Lemon juice.
Lemon juice. And finally, for the kids, to make your bones strong,
The calcium.
the calcium or some milk. We're using whole milk because you know
We use, like Napoleon Dynamite says, you could probably drink whole milk if you wanted to.
we're using whole milk. Vitamin D fortified whole milk. Really shake this up. Really make this cold. There we go. And now we're just going to strain that out in a small glass.
Looks like horchata.
All right. I'm excited about this. I've been thinking about this drink all week. I've been thinking, what's this going to taste like? And I was going to make it earlier, and I'm like, no, I need something to live for. This is it. Here we go. First drink, Pazuzu of Nightmare in Wax. A delicate aroma.
Lemon and milk.
Very strong. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's very interesting though. I don't know if I would order this at a bar. I don't know what bar would make it, but it's very waxy. So get ready. I would maybe more sugar, maybe when you're trying it. If you haven't tried it yet, a little more sugar, maybe a little more milk. But it's worth trying. Let's enjoy the movie.
Right.
Pazuzu.
Cheers.
I am on brand tonight. I made this drink, and I think it's...
Get ready. It's a strong drink. I got to tell you.
I already tasted it. And
I went with
are
wine
not
since it was
joking.
literally the only alcohol at my house.
I see you finally got your glass of wine. I'm happy, Dustin.
Well, I was gonna try to be like Mike Justice and pour mine in a salt shaker, but
Mike, you're never going to live that wine glass down.
we love Mike though.
We adore Mike Justice. So, back to whatever we were talking about before we went to it.
We were talking about picking the movies and what's coming up in April, but listen,
Right.
there's going to be tickets out fast. They really do. That we're in that place now, which is amazing. Please, if you're interested, please come out. It's very important to us to have you there. It's a big family. I know Bill and Sam throw a nice little party up front. It's just a good experience. I wanted to give a shout out to people coming in the Pittsburgh area. I do Living Dead Weekend as well. And this October, we're doing a reunion for Night of the Living Dead with the big names, with Kyra, Russ, and the two Judys. And, if you're in Pittsburgh the weekend of October 20th, please check that out up near Evans City in Harmony, in Harmony, PA. So, I just want to give a shout out for that. That's something you should definitely check out because no one's getting younger. And it's a big deal. It's a really big deal that we're doing this. So
Of course, it's happening on the weekend. I'm going to be out of town.
I'm sorry to hear that. Where are you going that weekend?
Mark and I are going leafing that weekend. Every year around this time, we go to a place in Potter County, PA.
Yeah, up north. Yeah, I remember.
Kind of chill there.
Bill's part of a satanic cult up there.
He says leafing, but he's really just got to buy some weed.
I like to go down into Latrobe on Route 30. Actually, that's a really great drive. It's super close, and when you cross over past Latrobe into that whole area down there with the big trees and the giant rocks, because the glacier was very kind to that area. It's a very unique landscape, and the trees are incredible in that county. It's right past Greensburg. It's a total suggested drive. If you don't want to spend a lot of money and drive very far away from Pittsburgh to go look at leaves, it is the place to go. It's spectacular. But anyway, so I appreciate tonight, Bill and Dustin and Sam and all the kids out there for welcoming tonight.
What do you think about Nightmare in Wax?
What do I think about that? I know it's coming out on Blu-ray from a company.
Oh, really?
I heard stories. It's not anytime soon, but it's coming at some point.
Oh, sweet.
It's not a bad movie, but my favorite movie of his is Man Eater of Hydra. Is my absolute favorite. I don't know which one of you guys had mentioned that, but that's my absolute favorite Cameron Mitchell film. We screened that early on at Monsterama. That was a big movie that I used to see on Channel 2 in Pittsburgh all the time as a kid in the afternoon. I always used to catch the last 10 minutes where the tree would suck all of his blood and he would die. And then I would be pissed off because it took 100 years for it to come back on another time, right? So I think after that 2 attempts, the third attempt, I got to see the movie all the way through. And it's one of my favorite bad films. It has everything you need: a spooky island, stupid tourists, a vampire tree, and Cameron Mitchell. What else?
And dubbing.
Huh?
There's some dubbing.
Yeah, it's a special movie. It's outrageous. I like it. I'll be watching tonight later, actually. Watching the rest of the show probably later tonight. So good stuff. Cool. So I will see you guys, and I'll see Bill probably before I see Bill, I'm sure, at some point for the shirts. But I'll see you guys soon. And Dustin, it's a pleasure having the show with you and get to meet you in person.
Look forward to doing it again.
Seeing you on the whatever form of media I'm watching you on, whether it's phone or something else. But anyway, all right, guys.
All right,
okay.
Thank you so much. Have a great show tonight.
Thanks.
Thanks, Gene. Gene from Super Drive-In Monsterama.
Very cool.
I saw some folks ask too, like, what's the experience like there? Are there ads? And is there a snack bar? Holy shit, there is. The snack bar, it's wonderful. There are ad breaks. It's a traditional old school drive-in experience when you go to the Super Monsterama.
Yeah, they really do it up. Like in between the movies, there's tons of vintage trailers. They also have those vintage intermission ads with the dancing,
the hot dog performing at the circus. Yeah, all of them.
It's pretty amazing. It really is like it's sort of a time warp because you can't do that kind of thing anymore. Typically, I mean, you can still go to the drive-in, but you're not going to see all of that stuff. It's an immersive experience.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, like from doing it so often, I kind of take it for granted now that we could do that. But I remember the first couple times I went, it was just soul stirring. I'll leave it at that.
Well, I imagine it's the appropriate type of crowd too. You're not just going with some random person, random group of people who are going to be talking over the entire movie or, just laughing and everything. I assume it's generally fans of these movies or these types of movies who are there to appreciate it as much as you are.
Yes, Sean Midas, you are correct. There's always a great Drive-In Asylum trailer, and there will be one this year too.
Bill, Mike asked, are there T-Birds and Pink Ladies, and will Sandy slam a car door on my crotch? Yeah, there are.
There's no playground in the front of the drive-in, though. I have to warn you.
Yeah, Cubby is known as Kaniki, Mike, by the way, in case you're wondering. That's what we call Cubby at the drive-in. If you go to the Dependable, Bill, there's a miniature golf course, though, which is pretty wild that you can mini golf before the movie.
I've been there.
Yeah. There are kids playing Frisbee and stuff. There's a lot of kids there that you can also, there's a lot of vendors. You can buy movies the whole time, or shirts, or horror movie memorabilia. Yeah, Time Bomb's usually there, and there's folks inside selling movies. There's always and it's rough because it's like the drunker I get, I'm like, well, I need more DVDs. Do I know? But I'm drunk, so it's a bad scene. It's a good scene, but it's a bad scene.
By the way, on the second segment tonight, we're going to have a stunt from Hot Toddy of the Stolen Stitches.
Oh, wow.
And they're going to demonstrate a facelift. And it's not what you think.
Very curious about that.
Yeah.
I'm afraid every time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's scary.
Look at that. You have a little bit of everything tonight.
Yeah.
That's true.
It's like a 3-ring circus, just minus a couple elephants.
Well, now I know something to aspire to. I posted the link to tonight's first feature, Nightmare in Wax, on the Groovy Doom Facebook page. It's on Daily Motion. That's the only place I could find it streaming online, unless you found it somewhere else, Sam.
Same here.
Nope.
I'm going to be watching my Gorehouse Greats collection, and I think Dustin, you are too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Or if you have the Chilling Classics box set, it's on that one too.
I knew it was on one of them. I'm actually looking back to see which one I have.
The print that's on Daily Motion looked pretty nice to me. Awesome. So
yeah, well, and I checked it out. Like I said, the print did look actually a little bit better, and the audio definitely sounded clearer. So it might be beneficial for a lot of y'all to check that version out as opposed to the DVD set.
Yeah, there's my set right there. I'll be watching on Vince. I saw you mentioned it, so pretty excited. Yeah, it's on Plex too. That's the other place I saw it on. But as Paul said, the print's pretty rough on Plex.
We have not plugged horrorandsons.com yet.
Oh, sorry.
Dustin Fallon.
I haven't plugged it. Who cares?
I care.
No, I appreciate it. But at the same time, I mean, I'm sure I'll ramble about it at some point later. But I'm just happy to be here and, watch the movies with everybody and, share something I like. And hopefully everybody else does too. So.
How long have you been doing Horror and Sons? It's been forever.
Coincidentally, this month marks 9 years, which even I'm kind of floored I've been at it that long. I mean, yeah, there's been a few breaks here and there, but yeah, 9 years. And I think I said to you when I was talking to you like a week or so ago, if you would have asked me years ago, no, I would have never thought I'd still be at it. I mean, honestly, when I started it, it was really something that I did just to, share my opinions on films with a few friends, and I never set the page to private, and other people just started reading it. So I was like, what the hell, let's go with it and see where it takes me. And yeah, I mean, there's been some really, great things as far as I'm concerned that came out. I mean, I met you guys. I'm here tonight. I've gotten, to review, a bunch of different movies that were sent to me. I got to judge a film fest, which, that was one of my favorite experiences so far. So yeah, I mean, that's one of the things that I try to tell everybody is, I'm a freaking idiot. And if I could do it and have all this stuff come out of it, there's nothing stopping you.
You do a series every Halloween. Well, usually every Halloween, the Halloween horror series.
I was going to bring that up later, but if you want to do that now, yeah, actually,
you can bring it up later too.
Yeah, well, at some point, I at least want to, give a shout out to a couple people. I see, Sean in the chat. I was definitely going to mention him. Sean Midas is going to be contributing this year, so I definitely wanted to give him some recognition. Jennifer Upton's going to be joining again this year. My main dude, Roger Braden, is going to be joining again. I mean, we could, go more into details later, but if anybody who is watching is interested, you could go either to the website or to the Horror Sense Facebook page and find more information there. I'd love to have you. On the Facebook page is a list of all the movies that have been claimed to be written about this year. But yeah, I mean, go ahead and check it out. I'd love to have you. It's, it's a very loose event. It's no competition. Nobody's trying to outdo each other. It's just to write about a movie that you love and have a little fun and celebrate Halloween and horror.
Right on. Yep. So let's get to the first movie, shall we?
Yeah, definitely.
Nightmare in Wax, not nightmares, plural.
No, but the appropriate shirt.
Yeah. I know I wear this shirt all the time, but I couldn't not wear it tonight. You know what I mean?
I'm just wearing what I'm sleeping in, so.
Make sure you come back after the movie for the second segment. Dustin Fallon, and myself, and we'll be back on the Drive-In Asylum double feature. Till then, enjoy the movie.
See you in the second segment. Alrighty.